Hi, I'm Karen and welcome to my channel, Karen Sew Slowly. I'm not going to say as many times. That last vlog I put out, first of all, I deleted as many of the M's and as I could, and it took me nearly 2 hours to do it, and there were so many. If you watch it through, every time it sort of does a little jump, it's because I said So what I'm going to say instead is, what I'd like, I've just said it again, I don't believe it. What I like to do today is just tell you what I've been up to, what I've been making. I'm sure some of you can, the eagle-eyed ones amongst you will spot this here. First of all, top I'm wearing, this is the material that I made my last Zadie out of. This is the fabric that I used, and I had quite a bit left over because I'd originally bought about 4 meters to do a dress, so I had quite a bit left over. And the pattern that I used was this one, which is NewLook 6892, and I did View E. Ooh, whoop, there we go, that one there. And this top here was the one that I was wearing in a recent vlog in yellow. I did it. And I got some lovely comments, so thank you very much for that, saying that that top's really nice. It was one of the first tops I made, and I didn't have my overlocker when I made it, so it's starting to look a bit, it's hanging on the line now. I'm sort of looking at it, it's looking a bit raggy, and I don't know how much longer it's going to last really. I used pink and shears on the edges of the material, and I did zigzag over the edges of the material as well, and I really tried my best, but they're not overlocked, and it was a fairly cheap viscose as well, so we'll see. I might get another summer out of it, hopefully. So anyway, yes, this top is that one there, and yeah, it was a really easy make. I'll just stand up, forgive the shorts don't go with the top at all if you can see them, but I widened, oh no you can't, so that's fine. I widened the bottom of it because, which is why it's a little bit baggy on the underarms. I think I widened this sort of the side seams all the way up instead of tapering them really, because that yellow top is a little bit nippy around the hips and the tum. Depending on what size I am, it's very nippy on some days. I did widen it all the way down, which is why these are a little bit sort of baggy saggy at the top end, but you cannot really see me bra, and to be honest, it's just a little top to wear on holiday or to wear out in the garden. It's not, I wouldn't go out in it or anything. Well, I would go out in it, but I wouldn't sort of go out in it. That's the first thing that I made. This material as well came from First for Fabrics, and I think it was about, at the time, it was about £6.95 or £7.95 a metre or something. And like I say, I got quite a lot of it. And yeah, I bought it ages and ages ago, and then it's just been sat in my stash, as usually happens with fabric. So the material that we got in the Sewscription box, and I asked everybody to give me ideas what I could make out of it. So a lot of people suggested a caftan type thing, cover up for over my bather or what have you on my holidays, and yeah, and I was totally going for that. That's what I was sort of thinking I would make. And in the meantime, I'd seen a lot of vlogs on people tidying their stash up, and I haven't got a very big stash. It's one little cupboard, well, and a bit in the front bedroom as well actually, but it's one little cupboard and it mainly all fit in there. When I was tidying the stash up, I came across some material which I ordered probably about the same time as that yellow top that I was wearing. One of the first things I ordered, didn't really know what I was ordering, didn't know the difference between a cotton and a viscose, didn't have the first clue. I just liked the look of this material, and when it came I thought, don't know what I'm going to make out of that, because it's gorgeous, whatever, it's Georgette we'll call it Georgette, that's how I'm going to pronounce it. And it was this lovely material. And see if I can just tilt you a little bit so you can see. And I've used that to make a caftan, and I'm quite chuffed with it. It's quite long in the back. Let's see if we can just tilt you down a bit. So it comes up at the front. It's got splits in the side. Turn Warvia around and you can have a look at the back. And so that's the sort of pattern. I'm quite chuffed with me pattern matching. I didn't really intend to do it. I sort of loosely matched it so that the sleeves would be, I was more concerned about the sleeves matching at the sides. The sleeve pattern, I don't know why I was more concerned about that than anything else, but yeah, it's really, I really quite like it. And it was just one size fits all, or one size fits most, I think she said. And there's a bit of a backstory to where I got the pattern for that as well. This is totally going off what I've actually made with my Sewscription fabric, but quickly I'll go back to the caftan. The Sophia wrap play suit. So this is Tilly and the Buttons Make It Simple book again. I was so chuffed with my Sophia pants that I made. I thought I'm going to try and make something else with this material, and I didn't want, I preferred it like an all-in-one garment. I didn't want just trousers, like a pair of Sophia trousers, which I first, initially, that's what I first thought. Oh, a big floaty skirt, like a 50s skirt, or another pair of Sophia trousers. And then when I thought about it, I thought, no, I'm gonna look like a clown. No, it's just gonna look like big checky clown pants. That was the thought I had in my head. So this is, I promise you I have ironed it, but the only trouble with this is to get into it and to get out of it, you literally have to be a yoga goddess. I have bent my back, and actually I'm suffering with sciatica today, and that's probably how I've done it. To get your arm in, there's not a lot of material here. Once you've got your bazookas in and you've got, you know, you've got an arm in that side and that, you have to pull it right up so that it's quite tight on the crotch, and then you have to sort of climb it, and you have to climb into it like this way. So it's not something that I could wear, like I would say on a night out. Well, I wouldn't wear it on a night out, it's far too short, but if I did wear it where I was going to have to go to the loo quite often, say, I wouldn't be able to, because I think I would end up stuck in it in a cubicle in the toilets, because you need a lot of room, and you need to be able to sort of bend your body a certain way to get in and out. I do like it, and I am pleased with it, and I would definitely wear it on holiday, even probably to go for a walk on an evening on holiday. I think it'd be ideal and very cool and everything like that. But like I say, if you need to get in and out of it to go to the loo, which is the only trouble with like jumpsuits and play suits, it's usually like all in one, and you don't have a zip or anything to get in. So like with the Zadie, you've got to take the whole thing off when you go to the toilet. It's a bit easier than that to get in and out of. So that's that one. Now back to the caftan. When I was looking, what I want to do is, as a lot of you may know, I'm having chemo treatment at the moment, and I've had chemo treatment in one form or another for about 17 years now. On and off, and I'm absolutely fine. Please, no more messages of sympathy. You make me feel really bad for making you feel like, oh, poor lass. Well, I'm fine, I'm absolutely fine. But yeah, I want to make some beanies to take into the chemo unit where I go. I've lost my hair twice through chemo, and I know when going to bed on a night time with previous chemos that I've had, sometimes you're red hot and you're quite pleased that you're bald when you get into bed. other times you're absolutely freezing. So, and I used to have a couple of like just skull caps really that I used to pull on when I went to bed of the night time. Usually by the morning they weren't there, they were off my head. But I got some really soft jersey and I thought, oh, I'm going to make a load of beanies out of that. I don't know what else I would make with it, to be honest. I've had a look at patterns and things like that and I've just thought, oh no, it's just so soft. It's baby soft. It's lovely stuff. Can't remember where I bought it, whatever. So I thought, I'm going to make some beanies for the chemo unit and I'm going to take them in just for anybody that wants one or that just thinks they might, you know, might need one over the winter, because it will take me, as you know, so slowly, it will take me quite long to make a few to leave in the chemo unit. So that's one of the things I plan to do. So I was online looking for a beanie pattern and I found somebody called Lauren Marmimo. I'll put her name down in the description box below. Excuse me while I have a drink. I promise you it's coffee, it's not gin. And I found making a slouchy beanie with Lauren, just using your overlocker, obviously, because you're using jersey material. So, and that's absolutely perfect what she makes. And it's given me ideas for what I could try and make myself. But she used a pattern that she got from Scattered Thoughts of a Crafty Mom, American lady, who does this free beanie pattern, which I have printed off. If I can find it. No, I can't. Oh, I've put the keyboard on top of it. Which that's a bit of it there. And you just print these free patterns off, and she said, you know, please feel free to reprint our patterns as many times as you want. You can come back, you can look at the instructions on the website once you've downloaded them, and you can keep coming back and printing more off. And she does say, do not use my photos to sell your products. Well, I'm not going to sell anything. But it does say this pattern is free for you to use and you may sell items you make on a small scale. Do not use my photos to sell your products. Well, I don't think I could sell them if I make them. But, and she says, want to say thanks for this free pattern. Share it on Facebook, Instagram, tweet it or pin it. Well, I'm doing it on YouTube because I'm rarely on Instagram, rarely on Facebook. I don't tweet and I don't pin. So there we go. So I'll mention it as much as possible and I'll put her website in the description down below as well. But going back to Lauren Marmino, when I was watching her do it, I think I've mentioned in the past that I'm absolutely terrible for finishing off my threads when I use my overlocker. I don't finish them off. I just cut them off at the end of the material and hopefully there's a seam or something wraps around that bit so it all gets tied in together. And every time I do it, I think I really should thread this thread through a needle and slide it back through the stitches and things. And I've tried doing it a couple of times, made an absolute hash of it. So that's one of the reasons why I don't bother doing it now. But what she called them thread worms, which I thought was dead cute. I mean, everybody might, I don't know, but she called them thread worms. And the way that she does them is, if you think of a piece of string, when you tie a knot in it to put it through it, like when you've put it through a needle and you tie a knot on the end, she just does that. She takes the one bit of string, ties a knot in it and then pulls the knot down to where you would cut it off at the end of the material. So I've been trying to do that. It's not as easy as it looks because my knots are usually about, I don't know, a centimetre away from where I want them to be. But I'll keep persevering with that. But I just thought that was a handy tip if anybody was like me and didn't bother finishing their overlocker threads. So anyway, back to the thoughts, back again to the Scattered Thoughts of a Crafty Mom. That lady who did the free beanie pattern, that's where I got the kimono pattern, and it was basically on 6 bits of A4 paper. I think that's all it took, 6, maybe 8 bits of A4 paper, and both the 2 front pieces, which was one front piece which you flipped over, and the back piece which you cut on the fold, were both on that block. So it did require you to trace them out once, or trace one of them out if you'd stuck the pages together. But I've traced them both out because I would love to make something like that again. And next time I might make it a bit longer and make it for like a sort of a kimono to wear around the house, like a dressing gown type thing. Really easy to make. I didn't make it exactly as she said. She turned over the neckline and made a little hem, but this material was so fine. I think she suggested using a crepe or a linen or something for it. She didn't mention this sort of material, but I did the rolled hem stitch on my overlock around the edges, so I didn't have anything to turn into a hem, if you see what I mean. I didn't overlock it and then hem it and like you would with a viscose or something like that. So I did make it slightly different to what she said, but all the edges are covered by the rolled hem stitch from the overlocker, so I am quite pleased with the way it's turned out. So, and I'll put her name and everything in the description below if you want to go and check her out. So I've got a little bit of a fabric haul next. Yeah, we'll do the fabric haul next, I think. And I've got my magazine, Simply Sewing magazine as well. So this first material I bought from Fabric Love, and I've had a couple of things I think from Fabric Love before, and that's it there. As you can see, I've already cut stuff out of it, so I can't sort of really show you a huge bit, but it's a lot more greeny than it looked on the website. It showed, I thought the flowers it didn't have one of those, sometimes they have a ruler on the picture of the fabric and you can tell how big the pattern is, so they didn't have that on this one, and I thought the flowers were going to be like that size. I thought they were going to be like really big, massive flowers, and I had in mind to make another Zadie because I think a Zadie looks great with a big pattern. But when it came, it's like a, what do they call it on here? Cotton poplin. Now I thought cotton poplin. This is me. I have no clue what the material is. There's something else I've seen today, cotton batik. Can anybody tell me what a batik is? I think it's a bit stiffer than this, but this has a bit of drape, but not much. You can probably hear it is quite structured for a cottony material. So I don't think it would make a good Zadie. I don't think it would drape and wrap round the bodice bit. So when it came and I saw how sort of stiff it was, it has softened up since I washed it, mind. I just thought, oh no, I can't make a Zadie out of that. But then I remembered ages and ages and ages ago, I ordered the Millicent wrap dress pattern from NewLook. Just looking for the picture. I should have had this ready. That's the best picture there. And I got this absolutely ages ago. I love these sleeves. So they've got like a seam halfway or 3/4 of the way down, and that turns it into like a puffy sleeve. I think I've established I'm not a big puffy sleeve person. I do prefer shorter sleeves or no sleeves. A 3/4 sleeve's perfect on a sort of a t-shirt for me even. Yeah, I just like that. I just think it looks really smart, and it's quite a long dress as well. So there's only the one part, you don't get view A, B, C, D, whatever, and it's NewLook. Have I made anything by NewLook before? I don't think I have, you know. I don't think I have. So that'll be interesting. But I have it all cut out, and there are loads of pieces. And I did do print it out and then trace all the pattern pieces off and then cut them out. So yeah, I did that ages ago. I traced everything off, thankfully, otherwise I would still be on doing it now. But you can see from that there's so many pattern pieces. But I'm hoping that that's going to look nice, and that the structured bit of the material is going to help that sleeve sort of puff out a little bit. I think that would look great in a linen, plain linen, but I just think it might jazz it up a bit with being a bit, anyway. we shall see. I think it's going to take me a long time to make up. I think it's going to be quite a big sew. So don't hold your breath for a sew along with that one, because that could take months. I'll sew it up and I'll let you see it when I've done it. I think it looked nice, but I want to take my time with it. I really want to sew it properly, and I want to get a really nice dress at the end of it. So we'll see anyway. So we've mentioned that, and we've mentioned that, and on the other two materials I got were from Metre, except they weren't a Metre. There were offers of 3 meters for, and I've just been on, and this one is still on there for £10. You can get 3 meters for £10, and it's this one here, and it is a viscose, and this is a lovely drapey one. It looked more red than orange on the pictures of it. I've just had another look, and they do still have it, and it looked more red, I would say. I don't know if it looks more red there actually, but when you're looking at it here, I think the orange stands out more than the red. So I don't know what that's going to be. Might be another Zadie, might not. I'll have to have a think, because you know, when you go in, I went in to order the next material, to get some material for the next material, just to make something for the winter coming up, something a bit thicker or a bit more t-shirty, sort of autumny weather. And I've ended up getting 3 meters of this, because I'm sure this was 3 meters for £9.50. I think it was a little bit cheaper, and it's a jersey. Not a lot of stretch, but it is. It does. Which way does it? It stretches one way. It stretches that way. Doesn't really stretch that way. But it's a sort of a Breton stripe, and I wanted to make. There is a Breton stripe t-shirt in the last Sewing Bee book that I've cut the pattern out for, and then realised I had no material that was really suitable for that pattern. So I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and just make a striped t-shirt. Not a really, I don't really buy stripes. It's not really a pattern I would go for. Usually go for flowers, like you can see, but yeah, I quite like that. And there's such a lot of it, I could even make a dress. I think there's 3 meters there. So that was the 2 materials I bought, and those two were from Metre, and the other one was Fabric Love. I'll put all the details down below. Can't remember how much, wait a minute. Can't remember how much that material was. The tropical fabric, this fabric here. It's a Rose and Hubble Tropical Lily on black, 100% cotton poplin, and 1 metre was £6.50, which I didn't think was bad at all. So the 5 meters that I got, crumbs, I got 5 meters of it. I thought when I was, I had to extend the dining table, and I had squares material hanging off the end of the dining table. 32.51 that was for that. So I equated that to, if you went online to buy a summer dress a bit like that pattern I've showed you, you would easily pay £40, I think, if not more. If you went to somewhere like Joe Brown's, you'd definitely pay more, and it wouldn't be as nice material or as good quality. And my own personal opinion, it wouldn't be sewn as well. So I think 32.51 is not bad for a dress if you do it like that, and I'm going to get the satisfaction of making it myself as well. So that was good. Oh, just before, yeah, carenisms. Now, those of you who watch me will know I always do a carenism. When I was making the play suit, the bottom half, it's the elastics in the back, and then you have the flat front, which I just realised just before I started to film, I haven't actually top stitched the bit down. So in the shorts bit underneath, where you feed your elastic through, you leave a bit where you don't sew it down to get the elastic through, and then once you've got the elastic through, you stitch it down so that obviously it doesn't come out and doesn't shoot round the back. Stitch it down at both sides, and then you're supposed to top stitch this bit down. I'll turn it that way, show you a bit better. So yeah, so you're supposed to stitch that bit down because that doesn't have elastic in it. It just lies flat. So I've still got the green thread in my machine that Andrea sent us with this material, so I need to do that when I finish doing my vlog today. But the careism I did was to get the shorts made up. You do the top half, and then she goes on to sewing the shorts up. And the first bit that you sew up is the inside leg. So if it was the Sophia pants, obviously be all the way down the inside leg, whereas the inside leg on the shorts is obviously only that little bit there. And it said go to page 44 or whatever it was and follow instructions 1 and 2. So I did that, and I followed 1 and 2, and then because I've made the Sophia pants, I thought, I know what I'm doing. I'm just going to go ahead and continue. I know how to put. So I got as far as stitching the channel down, and I was just threading the elastic through the channel, and I suddenly thought, hang on a minute, I haven't joined the top on yet. If I join the top onto there, you're going to be stitching into the elastic. And it was that made me think, and I thought, you idiot. So I not only followed instructions 1 and 2, I'd followed 3, 4 and 5 as well. And the channel that I'd sewn to put the elastic through, although it's the same sort of size elastic that you put through, you need a bigger channel for your play suit, because you obviously have to join the top bodice bit of the play suit to the top of that channel as well. So I had to pull it all out. I had to pull the channel out, I had to take the elastic out, pull the channel out, iron it so that I could then remeasure again to get, you turn it over 1.5 centimeters, and then when you're doing Sophia pants you turn it over 3.5 centimeters, but for this one you do 4.5 centimeters, which did make me think, crumbs, that's really going to be cutting it tight for length on the body, but actually it's fine. And like I said, it is a bit of a nippy struggle to get into it. But that was my careism with that one. There always is a careism. I always end up pulling some of it out. And I stitched the bodice and the shorts together the first time using, I think it was this a centimetre, she said, or 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. And I did that, and I just thought, you know, I'm gonna take it out, I'm gonna reduce it. So that was another line of stitching that I had to take out. Otherwise, I reckon I could have made that play suit in about 2.5 hours. And once it was cut out, and I'd cut it out weeks before at Sea Houses, so I had it ready to go. Cut the pattern out, I mean, not the actual material. So I reckon I could have made it in 2.5 hours if I hadn't had to pull the waistband out at least 4 times. So it's a wonder the material's still hanging together. The next thing I've got to show you is I already had that pattern. Now, did I have this? Yes, I did. I had this pattern, which I quite like. And it's another wrap dress, of course. I quite like that one there. But I think they've got this wrong, because they say that this is view A. And that's view A there. But look at how floaty the skirt is on this one. And I don't think her skirt's, I think her skirt's more like this view here. I think they've got the view wrong. I think it's that one. Because I was looking at sort of the wrap effect and the lovely sort of drapey skirt, and I thought, oh, some of that jersey that I've got would make a lovely dress like that if I could make like a swing skirt with it. So I had that pattern anyway. And then, as you do, you go on looking at different patterns. And then I saw this one, and I did think, actually, that's got more of a swingy skirt on it. I wonder if I could hack the two together. I don't know if it would make a difference with this being in more like probably like a cotton poplin, like I've just shown you, or you know, a stiffer material. This is obviously going to be, says cotton blends, create back satin. Oh well, knits, linen blends, ponte, poplin, sateen. Not suitable for plaid stripes, diagonal. Yeah. So it does say linen mix, and it does say knit as well. So I think I could make that out of a jersey material and have it as like a going out dress in the winter. I know it's got there with a little bolero jacket and that's not really my thing. I do need a jacket that covers more of a bottom, really. But anyway, that was already had that one, bought that one, and I can't remember where I got it from. Off Amazon, I think. It was only cheap, it was only a tenner. Wasn't very much at all. So that's those, and I don't know what that is. Next, my magazine, and God love it, I know I've slated the patterns in Simply Sewing the last few months. We've had the odd nice one, ones I wasn't sure about, ones where I think there was one, this model was wearing a dress in the last one, or no, it was a pair of trousers, and they just looked massive on her. They just looked, I mean, she's lovely and slim. So I just think they've made a size, at least 2 sizes too big to put this model in them. But it's redeemed itself. The magazine has redeemed itself, because these are the patterns. If anybody has bought the magazine this month, they'll know this came about a week and a half ago now, so a while ago. I absolutely love that jumpsuit. I'm going to be making that, I think. I'm wondering if it's you will need, oh, there is a zip, so you can get into it with a zip, so that's a little bit more sensible. I was just imagining climbing through that neck hole. Yeah, wouldn't work, not with my thighs. So that's the Joni jumpsuit, and it doesn't say, it just says for Simply Sewing magazine. It's not from any make or anything like that, but because sometimes you do get a sew over it pattern, or a Stylock pattern, or a Mimi G pattern, but I like that. I really do like that, and I think she looks marvellous in it. Definitely got the figure to wear a jumpsuit. This is a wrap skirt, which I think I would make the longer version of that, and I think it shows you a longer version in the magazine. So that was that one, and I like that, and I think that looks nice on that model there. And then a basic tee or vest or whatever you call them. So I think, well done, Simply Sewing magazine. That's 3 good patterns. I think you've redeemed yourself this month. As any of you who watch me regularly will know, I got Warvera, my mannequin, I got that from subscribing to Simply Sewing magazine. I think they've got the offer on again at the minute. And you subscribed for 13 months. I paid $109.99, I think, around about that. And you got the mannequin for free. But actually, what you're getting for free is the magazine. There's a lot of people sort of said, oh, I stopped my subscription to the sewing magazines because I wasn't reading them and I didn't like the patterns. Blah. Well, I'm getting them for the next 13 months anyway, so, or the next 8 months or something it is now anyway. So I'll just keep going. I'll probably not continue after that because I don't read them. That's really bad, isn't it? I'll just keep them. And they do talk about the patterns that they give away with them inside the magazine. So I do keep the magazines until I'm sure I'm not going to use the pattern, and then I just, yeah, I'll throw them away. But so yes, great patterns in this month's magazine. Let's see, what else have I got to tell you? The upcoming vlog, yeah, I started tidying my stash. It's great. I'm hoping to do like a this is before and this is after, big reveal. But everybody that I looked at online of how do you store your material were using things called comic book cards, or that's some comic cards or something, which was basically thick card they were wrapping the material around. That was quite expensive, and I think they only came in packs of 100 sheets, and I really didn't need 100 sheets. I don't have that much in my stash, but I liked the look of having them sort of all lined up. So I went on and ordered some thick, really thick card, about 480 GSM I think it is, really thick card from Amazon. Got 2 lots of 25 sheets, and I think were about £7 for 25 sheets, whereas the comic book cards were getting on for £30 I think for 100, and some were even more than that, and I just wasn't prepared to pay that. I'd rather pay £30 and get material and fabric and haberdashery stuff, not card just to wrap my material around to make it look pretty in the cupboard. And it's worked, it's fine, it's done the job. And that's about it for today, I think. I haven't got anything else to tell you. What I was thinking I might do, and let me know in the comments below if you think, if this is something you would like me to do. There's a couple of people I watch on YouTube. One lady's more a lifestyle, sort of over 50s lifestyle. I watch her all the time, and she's absolutely hilarious. She's great, and she's called Caroline, Mrs. M, Caroline. She does hauls where she tries on clothes, and she looks fabulous in absolutely everything. It has to be said. She's a really bonny, lovely woman, and she always looks fabulous in everything she tries on. She does a makeup thing, and she destashes her makeup, and she sells on eBay, and she does absolutely all sorts, and she vlogs it all. And I'm absolutely fascinated. And she did a question and answer thing, and I thought, you know, that would be something I would like to do, because I get a lot of you asking questions just in the comments below, which I find and I don't mind answering, but a lot of people ask the same thing, and I feel like I'm sort of repeating myself. And if there's anything anybody would like to know, within reason, would you like me to do that? And depend on how many questions I get, what I could do is just do the questions the next time I do a vlog, or if I got inundated, which I'm sure I won't, but you know, can't be that many people interested in what I do. But if I got inundated, I could do a whole vlog of answering questions. So if you want to know anything about chemo, breast cancer that I've had, if you're going through that yourself, if you've got any questions you want to ask me about my experiences over the last 17 years, then I'm more than willing to answer any questions about that. I'm not medically trained at all. It would just be based on my experience. If you want to ask about where I live, what I did as a job, anything you like. And then I can either answer them in the vlog, or I'll do a special vlog where I answer all the questions one after the other. If that's something you think would be useful, or maybe, you know, anybody's just nosy and just wants to know stuff, that's absolutely fine as well. I'm quite nosy myself, and I did ask Mrs. M a question straight away. As soon as she put that up, I rattled a question off because I wanted to know, and she did actually feature my question when she did the vlog, so I was really chuffed about that. And that's about it. So if you want to see that, that's great. If you haven't subscribed yet, I would really appreciate it if you would. That would be fabulous. I have passed the 2,000 subscribers, and I cannot believe it. And I'm chuffed to bits with that, but the more the merrier. So please subscribe if you haven't already, and if you like what you've seen, give me a thumbs up. That would be great. And I'll see you all again soon, hopefully, and show you what I've sewed and show you how far I've got on with that dress. Okay, take care everybody, and have a happy and healthy week and lots of lovely sewing. Take care now. Bye.